like we see more cutscenes? Can we get like a real campaign mode and all that stuff? And like that's like the one thing. That was like the one thing why I kind of like not. I did not play this game right away. It was like, oh, there's no campaign, there's no this, but like, yeah, like it was hard to understand, like how they had like the archives events and like different events and all that stuff, and like for it's just one of those games where, like, look, if you don't care about story mode or any of the other stuff, yeah, that's great. This is a great game to jump in. If you care about story and all these little things, like it's gonna take a while for you to get used to playing this game and understand, just understand the lore as you play. And then, another thing that's also good is to find people that have also the same interest in playing this game. um, that's another thing. If you find people online or people within your own family, like my brother, my cousins, and my friends, if you have a common interest in playing this game, and then like, yeah, it becomes so much fun just assembling a team of 5 to 6 people and just wreck shop. But yeah, I can't wait to like this. That's what I kept saying too. Like, hey man, like they need to come out with the Overwatch movie. Like now that they have all they're pushing all these video game movies. It's like the same concept too. Like, hey, they're pushing all these comic book movies, and like Disney's doing it right. And I always said too. Like I told Aaron too. I was like, hey man, like I wish they did like a partnership with Disney, with Blizzard, and like Pixar did an Overwatch movie, because it's pretty much more or less the same type of graphics, or like the animation would be crazy. Or like they could have a partnership with DreamWorks too. DreamWorks or Illumination, the people who do stuff with the Minions. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's time for them to make a jump. At least if they're gonna make an Overwatch movie, do it after Overwatch 2. Like for real, they need to do that. All right, so next on the list is Junkrat.
Yo, Junkrat. That guy is so fun to play, and I think he's also essential because he's just fun to play.
Yeah, he's a 2-star. I think that's a very fair rating for him, and he's definitely another character like Zarya. He became one of my late favorites to use in the game. At first, like I had like no interest in using him. Like I just thought like, okay, whatever, just spam and like do whatever, and then do his Riptire. But after seeing my baby boy, my son, massacre people over and over again with Junkrat, and he makes it look so easy. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to use him a bit here and there, and then just have a go, just to be like just cause. And I feel with the Junkertown lore, apparently there's a rumor that hasn't been confirmed, but they're adding the Junker Queen in Overwatch 2, and apparently the story was like Rohag and Junkrat were kicked out of Junkertown because they were trying to steal the Junker Queen's treasure and all that stuff. That's the whole story with that payload, is like that whole treasure. But yeah. All right, next up is Mei. Your main, one of your mains, one of your 20 mains in this game.
Yeah, she's one of the many mains in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I say? She's annoying as hell to play.
Very annoying.
And to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
But I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what do you call it? Just the fact that if you have a good um, team or a good partner that can link up with Mercy and May, they're a very dangerous team.
Oh man.
Very
Yeah.
dangerous team. Like she could heal May, she could heal herself. Um, she'll freeze you, and then while she's freezing you, Mercy could buff May, and then she could do that the long range icicle shot that could pretty much like one tap people. And like the crazy thing about that L2 icicle attack is like it could two tap someone. So imagine her freezing you, and then like Mercy buffs you with a good Mercy character, or at least someone that has common sense. But yeah, she is a problem if you know how to use her. But if you put enough, the thing that May can't handle is pressure, and if she relies too much on just something like an ice wall, and like she doesn't get creative on basically find a way to help herself with the team is going to see right through her BS, and they'll see right through that shit and just like DPS the shit out of her ice wall and take her out. And a good team will do enough to make sure that she is forced to heal, and then they'll just be waiting for her to stop healing, and then they'll just DPS her to hell. But yeah, you just got to find the right synergy if you're playing as a May. But like I said, I threw the hint out there, especially for 3 versus 3 elimination, or 4 versus 4. May and Mercy are a very underrated team. All right, another one, another character that also has no stranger to teaming up with Mercy. What do you call it? Is the original synergy team of the game is Pharah. So what's your take on Pharah for Overwatch 2?
I mean, also very respectable character. I like rocket launchers, so you could always sign me up for a flying rocket launcher character with a random laser that boops you.
Yeah, I mean, I love her concussion blast. I hope she keeps it, but I definitely want to see something in the lines of like maybe like a little laser beam, like those like kind of like an Iron Man, Tony Stark laser. Something into her arsenal that makes her more. I want something more than just like someone that just spams rockets.
Okay, I mean that's
Fair enough. Like I really, it would be really good to see if she could do something where she could like hover, like a real like Iron Man, and like scan an area, or like do like lock on, like a micro missile like ability. Like it's like a smaller version of her rocket barrage. Similar to like Echo's like sticky bombs. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see that. So we definitely know this guy's coming back, and it's Reaper.
Oh, of course, Reapers.
Yeah, 1 star. Oh yeah, Pharah was 1 star too. But yeah, Mr. Death Blossom himself. Yeah, definitely love the Wraith form. The Wraith form is such a good way to get out of danger, or just go into something and just barrage enemies with your ultimate. The Shadow Step is a good way to get away, but it's better to be out of sight and use your Shadow Step, because a lot of problems with the players, what they do is they'll try to get away while they're still in the line of fire, and while they're in transitioning of doing Shadow Step, you can still get DPS and killed before you finish teleporting. So make sure you're out of the line of sight of fire first, then find a way to Shadow Step somewhere else, and get health or reunite with your fire team, or, your team, and just try to ambush or DPS your enemies. But he's a great character. He heals on each shotgun attack, and next we're doing Mr. Morrison himself, Soldier 76.
Oh
So
man.
um, I haven't seen him. I don't think we've seen him in the Overwatch 2 trailer yet. I know like apparently he's still in Mexico on the run.
No.
Castillo, or yeah, the Castillo area, or whatever town that Sombra's from. That was as far as I know where he was at last. He's a 1 star, and yeah, he's like I said, like him and Reaper are the easiest characters. Like if you're playing Overwatch for the first time, you're curious about Overwatch 2 and you haven't played Overwatch, you haven't played Overwatch yet. Yeah, man, Reaper and Soldier 76 are the easiest characters to just jump in the game and just play. Just to get the feel of the game. If you want to get the 100% feel of the game and know where you're going in, where you're in for before you start exploring other characters, and I really suggest you basically being pros with their character first, so you understand the mechanics and the way the game is played, and I mean, that's just me. That's how the game kept me hooked, because regardless of the diversity of characters you have in this game, sometimes there's other people out there that don't. Sometimes there's other people out there that they pick the main character that you're focusing on or you're grinding with majority of the time. And if your team needs a healer and the person that likes to damage people, that needs to do damage, look no further than this guy right here. This guy will come by, heal himself, heal his team. He could go 1-on-1 with the enemy. He could use guerrilla warfare versus a small crowd of enemies. Like he could just go in, do some barrage missiles, and do a little bit of DPS before he gets some backup. And he's the only character in this game that sprints. Let's not forget
No.
that. He's like, in most of these first-person shooter games like Call of Duty or whatever, a lot of people get really comfortable sprinting, even in Destiny and Battlefield, whatever you're playing. This guy is the only guy that has a command to sprint. And if you're talking about a character that needs to get to his team, or they need he needs to do something where he needs to be that playmaker for the team, and put the hurt on the enemy team, that's what that's a Soldier 76. And yeah, the Helix rockets, there you go. So I also propose every time you start the damage phase with Soldier 76, because his pulse rifle is really good, but you always want to start with the Helix rockets first. That does big damage, and the pulse rifle cleans up the rest of the mess. So what's your take on Soldier?
Yo, Soldier, surprisingly, like I didn't start using him until recently, and man, I kick ass with that guy.
Yeah, I love kicking ass with him too. All right, let's move along. Sombra, difficulty 3. I mean, I could see it, but at the same time don't see it. I personally think she's like a seesaw between Like I feel like it's your preference whether she's a 1 star or a 3 star. For me, like I feel it's a 3 star if you really want to get like more like challenging, where like you want to be more creative with your translocator and fight, like fighting people one on one, or like fighting against two people, or if you want to take the easy route and like leave your translocator at a safe place, or by a max health pack. What I did when I started playing, uh, when I started playing with her, I used the translocator back at the spawn point, just in case, like they almost killed me. I went back to the spawn point, and the cool thing about it was, even though Soldier 76 has the sprint ability, but the only difference is between Soldier and Sombra is Sombra could sprint like hell, but she has to be in stealth mode. She has to be in
Oh
stealth
yeah.
mode, so you can't see her, but she runs, and she runs like hell. Like I said, like Soldier's the only person that like you can naturally see run in the game, like out in plain view. Sombra you don't, but the only flip side is if you start attacking an area where she's running, she gives up her spot immediately and she stops running, and your cover could be blown. And it's been happening a lot now, all the time with Sombra players, especially in 3 versus 3, or when there's like an overtime on a payload or control point. People will see right through her, where she's trying to run around and like take the point, and like sometimes there might be 2 or 3 people on the control point on the payload, and they'll start DPSing every like 360 everywhere around them, and like somehow she'll get hit, and they'll just light her up like a Christmas tree. But other than that, being creative with her teleport, using her EMP hacks to hack a team. um, she's really useful in tough situations. She could hack Mercy to stop her from flying around and trying to heal people. She could cancel out supers. Like I said, like she could hack Bob. She could hack Torbjorn's turret. Um, you know, Anyone doing the ultimate, she just hacks them and shuts. She just shuts them down. Also, the same thing with the med packs. If she hacks a med pack, the med pack on your team will regenerate quicker, and you can get the med pack quicker. And if you're on an enemy team, you cannot even access that med pack until the time is expired, and it's a long duration for those med packs being hacked. And what's your take on this, Swift?
No, no. Sombra is definitely, man. Like, if you're asking me to take out any of these characters, I can't. Like, I feel like the Overwatch has achieved synergy with all the characters and the balance where they all complement each other. They definitely all have their weaknesses,
Oh yeah,
and
they definitely do. They all have weaknesses, and they all have pros and cons for sure. I definitely can't wait to see her come back, and I'm really interested to see how this all plays out. I can't wait to see what the beta is going to be like. All right, so here's another person that like to use. I'm still terrible as hell of using her beam, but in terms of her turrets, I'm pretty good at it with my cheese spots. Symmetra, what's your hot
um,
take?
yo, Symmetra was very fun. They reworked her. She's still fun, not like before, but um, considering she's, I think, the only Indian person in the game, gotta keep her.
Hmm.
Gotta keep her.
Yeah, she's a 2 star. I think that's a really fair rating. Using her teleporter, get creative with it. It definitely helped me get creative on helping out my team. Also, a cool thing is you could throw your turrets into the teleporter, and wherever your teleporter is, your turrets will end up being there. So if you want to transfer your turrets, or you want to transfer yourself and the team to just the strategic areas to get the advantage, that's great. I love her charge up shot when you're holding L2, and then you could just start spamming it. It's a huge DPS. Man, like that charge up shot kills. If you get hit by it's possible to get hit twice by it. It's pretty much a low key ultimate. Her charge up shot, like her charge up
Oh,
shot, is pretty brutal. Obviously against tanks, it's not gonna take out. It's not gonna kill them right away. But for characters that are fragile, like a Sombra, a Widowmaker, a Tracer, you're pretty much kissing that character goodbye. I definitely am curious to see what's in store for her next. I hope they do something where they could do a better barrier, but it kind of looks like the Ward of Dawn in Destiny 2. I mean, I think that would be a fair trade, but her wall barrier. I mean, it's good depending on how you use it. And I think the biggest difficulty about her character is knowing when and where to use it. But if you are strategic enough, it could be a big problem for the other party, or for your party if you have someone that's consistent with her. Next up is my main. Um, you love him. Um, he loves engineering and Torbjorn, and yeah, he's a 2 star, and I think that's a really fair rating for him being a 2 star.
also got reworked hard, and
Oh yeah, he reworked really hard, and and
like
and and, and uh and yeah, what were you saying?
no, no, I was gonna tell you because you said you got into Overwatch maybe like not definitely not the first year. I don't think you played the first year
It
because
was like
like
a year
that.
and a half in, but I got to play. I was fortunate enough to play Overwatch when his turret was the bigger super before the molten core.
Yes, yes, yes. And they had to nerf him a ton of times because the turret was just doing more work than pretty much anything else in the game.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was blessed and fortunate to, um, you know, be make sure that I had a turret that was completely um, they had like no damage, and then you had to make sure you use your ultimate, and that thing like just DPS the shit out of anyone that was in its way. Um, it was great because being strategic, and the best thing you could do was flank an enemy using that turret. But now, like, you had to I mean, regardless of the rework, the molten core, like, just it could ruin. It's one of those things where it could like ruin your plan, or it could help your plan. And when you get that overtime, and you put all that molten core on an area where they can't capitalize on anything, and you steal the game. Nothing is better than stealing the game with Torbjorn, especially with his turret still, beating the living, shooting the living crap out of you, while your ult is like burning your opponents. And plus, like it really helps. Uh, he has good synergy with Diva. I think Bastion for sure with the turrets. Who's another character? I would say. Um, let's see. I would say also Soldier 76 when he does his super. Um, also, oh yeah, for sure, Zarya. Because her super with the gravitation orb. Yeah, it might not. It's a thing where it won't kill you all the way, but it could hold you in a certain area, and it could it'll set you up for a Diva ult, a Doomfist ult, definitely a Torbjorn ult. Um, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like when it's pretty bad. Once you get things going with him. All right, Tracer. I mean, we know she's in the second game for sure. She's a 2-star. I personally, for me, I personally thought like her pulse bomb should have been. I thought like that should have been a rework, where she did something crazy, where she kind of like runs around and shoots people in the DPS. You know,
That sounds kind of cool.
It-
It'll
like you
be
know,
like, would it be like Reapers or like?
yeah. I wanted, yeah, exactly. I wanted it to be something about like Reapers, but she was moving around in like an area, kind of like a maximum spider, shooting everyone.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
but so like the thing was, I would want her to. Okay, so basically, what the way I would want it is for her wherever she's standing, doing her ult is where she ends up coming back to during her ult, like for it to be fair, so if she's like in the middle of like of a place where she's in the control point or in the payload or whatever, like her ult is like she's basically looks like she's running around like it's kind of like lightning, like she's running around really fast, and it's like as fast just like Reaper's Death Blossom, but it just has kind of like a bigger area damage. It's a bigger area damage, but like it won't be that much output damage like Doom, like Reaper. Like Reaper is obviously like a crazy shotguns in your face multiple times. I mean hers like she has like those little guns, so I feel like it's one of those things where like yeah it could kill you if you have full health, but the whole point is for her to it's an area of damage super. So I want it to be kind of like Zarya special, but maybe like a tad bit stronger.
Zarya's special is just a gravity ball. Doesn't even hurt you.
It no, it doesn't. But the thing was like that's the whole point. Like it doesn't, it won't kill you per se. Like it has the potential to kill you, but the damage output is not as great. That's what I'm saying. Where like I wish they could have done something like a rework like that for Tracer, where it's like yeah, it's gonna be a tad stronger than her ultimate. But then, like that's what I'm saying. Like it has like that spread damage where she can hurt others, and then it benefits your team. But that's just me. Um, Widowmaker. I mean, yeah, there's no doubt we're gonna see her come back.
Yeah.
I love her infrared sight. Her grappling hook is amazing. I feel like her Venom Mine is like next level trolling. And I like the fact that you can switch from her sniper rifle into an auto rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people that I'm not the best with the auto rifle. There's people out there that could like use the auto rifle mode like a boss. Um, It's funny. I either see people that are really good with the sniping, terrible with the auto rifle. I've seen people that are really good with the auto rifling, and they're terrible with the sniping. Those are always the two type of Overwatch players that I see a Widowmaker use. Um, and so far people like me and Aaron, we're more of like the sniper type, and like our auto rifle game is like not great. But we love using the mines. We love using the grappling hook. It's great. We already did Anna, so we're skipping her. Baptiste, he's a 3. Okay. I was expecting something like a 2, but you know what? I think because of his immortality field and his shield, the amp matrix, I could see why he I can see why he's a harder character to use. But I do love the fact that he has his grenade rounds to heal you. He's an amazing. People have been using him a lot more lately. Now he's an amazing third person for versus 3 elimination. He's a really critical character to use. He's a character that you need to keep alive, and also in vice versa, for you to be a Baptiste player, it's really important for you to keep someone like a Mercy on your team alive, or someone that's going to do more healing than your character. His character can only do so much. His character is basically the character that keeps you. He's the guy that keeps you alive in the game in terms of like momentum. Um, and he also has like his 3-round burst, gun. And I'm not gonna lie, if you're consistent with it, like it's a really dangerous weapon for it's really good. It's really good. I feel it's like the same. I put it in the same amount of effect as the. Let's see, what's another good weapon that I would compare it to? Let's see. No, not Genji. No, Hanzo. No. I think I'll put him in the same league as Doomfist. Because you have to, for you to be that good, and like ironically they're both 3 stars. So like if you get a lot of Doomfist's R2 attack, his hand cannon attack. If you get all the DPS and you take out your enemies, it feels rewarding because his reload is really slow, and then with Baptiste, his launcher, his minigun, it only uses so much bullets because it's a 3-round burst. So, and then you have his immortality field. If you botch that, I think it's like what 12, 16 seconds for that to regenerate. I believe his thing is basically half the time of Mercy's resurrection ability. And Mercy's resurrection ability is 30 seconds. Yeah. But he's a great character. He's an amazing character to use for Total Mayhem. If you're playing Total Mayhem too, great character to use. Because once they get his special up, if you need to clear away the enemy team, use his barrier ultimate and DPS that other team, and it'll just melt the other team. And he's really good for those consistent healing. His L1 healing is a short healing boost. And then of course he has his exo boots when you're crouching down for a while and you decide to jump. He does like a high jump, so it's similar to Ash's jump attack with her coach gun. If you shoot on the ground, it elevates her up, and she could go to a higher platform. All right, so my brother already said Brigida. Not a big fan of. She's not a big fan of hers. He could live without her. Um, I like the fact that she could do the she could her and Reinhardt can team up together in a team and form the big shield. They teased it and some gameplay, I believe, and also in the trailer that came out a couple of years ago. That's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see. I can't wait to see that. Um, and she's also another character. If you know how to use her right, she's great for those 3 versus 3 um, eliminations, and she's also another cheap character to use in Total Mayhem. In terms of regular quick play and all that stuff, to me, in my opinion, it depends on your reference. I believe she's a easy character to use. She's a 1 star. Let's move on. Lucio, me and my brothers, one of our favorite characters. He was actually the character that got me into Overwatch, other than Torbjorn. And my brother was vouching about this character for such a long time. And he's a 2 star. I believe he's a 1 star. His character is, to be honest with you, is not a hard character to use, or I don't think he's like a medium rating to use. He's really straightforward. I mean, all you do is with L1. You switch his abilities to the healing rift, to his speed boost, his speed buff, and then you have like the boop attack, which is R2, where he what'd you call it? No, what was it? My bad. Yeah, R2. So that's been like the Achilles heel for a lot of tanks and characters that can't recover when he his character knocks people off the screen. I've done it plenty of times. It's been done to me a great number of times too, but it always feels better when you knock people off the payload or off the stage and they have to respawn. Also, the fact that he could wall ride everywhere is really great, especially with the speed boost. If you like the game Jet Grind Radio, what do you call it? With roller skaters, just freestyling and going on the rail lanes, and they're roller skating on the wall, and spray painting. He reminds me a lot of those characters in the game. And believe it or not, Sega they're trying to bring back that game and Crazy Taxi. And I told one of my friends to say, "Yo, if they're gonna bring back those 2 games, they need to make them open world. That's the only way like those games would survive. If you need to look it up, check out Google." And Google the Jet Grind Radio and Crazy Taxi, and check out the latest news for that. What's your take on Lucio?
Oh yeah, no way. You don't need to heal anyone. Just be in his radius, you get healed. So
Yeah.
you don't even have to like do anything. So it's if you want to support your team and not do anything, that's the guy.
Oh yeah, and on top of that, when you press R1, you can amplify his powers. So his healing rift will boost up everyone's healing. And then if you're moving the payload and you're using your speed buffed, and you have like a group of 5 with you, uses speed boost, speed amplifier, and you guys are moving that payload like crazy. And like the last time me and Aaron were playing, I was using Lucio. I think he was using Junkrat or Diva, whoever he was using. But we basically demolished a team at I'm trying to remember the level, but yeah, it was fun because we got to deliver the payload, and it felt like old times again, like just using Lucio. Yeah, but he was definitely one of my mains in the game. It's between him and Torbjorn, but that's if I feel like being the healer. Mercy. What's your take on Mercy? We know she's in the second game, and
Yes.
and I know that she's got a lot of rework done too. I saw the old videos and stuff. I seen a couple of her specials too. Back in the day when she was able to resurrect the entire team who were like dead and shit. So she was, yeah, guys. If you didn't know, she was super broken. Her special was she was able to heal everyone and resurrect everyone that were dead. Basically, she got to respawn everybody on the spot, and like now her super is just she gets to what'd you call it? Yeah, her Valkyrie. She just gains the ability to fly, and her abilities are enhanced. So just her abilities get better. Her character could heal people and buff people with R1, and then she has her resurrection ability. She can res people, but it takes 30 seconds for the cooldown and 15 seconds if you're playing Total Mayhem. Another great thing that we like to do too was every time she goes in Valkyrie mode, what my son Aaron likes to do a lot is he likes to switch over to his her automatic automatic blaster and just start like laying the waste like DPS like crazy because she's flying around. And if if you have a good distance with her and she's flying around and the other team members are distracting the enemy team, she becomes a problem. Not just for doing DPS with her blaster, but also she could still resurrect, still heal people, and all that stuff. She has the second best blaster in the game compared to Diva. When you destroy Diva's mech suit, and Diva is just Space Form Diva with her blaster. Diva's blaster is far range. It has a ridiculous amount of rounds per minute. Mercy's pistol is slower, but it's just as effective if it was in the right hands. So we're up to our second to last character, Moira. I can't wait to see what Overwatch 2 has for Moira. What's your take on her?
Oh man, yeah, I always liked her.
She's a
has,
2-star. I think that's a fair trade that she's a 2-star.
it works.
She's a 2-star. I mean, you have to know when to use her bionic grasp, when she heals you, when she could damage your opponents with her damage orb, and then I love her teleporting ability to fade, and then you got the coalescence, where she fires a beam that does the healing and damages your enemies. I always thought that it was a very broken super, and basically, if you guys don't know anything about her ability, her yellow, basically her powers that are yellow, that makes the yellow orb is the healing, and the purple is the the damaging effect. And with her super, she combines both colors together, and it just launches this huge barrage laser beam that could cover the map, and she gets to fly around. And she can maneuver too. So it's a great, for in my opinion, it's a great way for her to escape the battlefield while healing herself and damaging other people. Or if you have your team members outnumbering the other team like 3 or 4 to 1 or 4 to 2, it's easy for her to heal your team and at the same time DPSing the other team if you're trying to close out a match or gain the advantage. I can't wait to see what they have next for her. And last but not least, we got Zenyatta.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Zenyatta.
This was a character at first. What I think when I first started playing this, I told my brother I had huge disdain for this character. I thought this character was the most worthless character. Yeah, they say his character is a 3. And what was it? Mercy is a 1. I feel for me, I feel Mercy is more of a 3. Because Mercy has a lot to do. Like Mercy has to fly. Mercy has to get to your allies. Mercy has to heal your team members. Mercy has to buff your team members. Mercy is doing a lot. Mercy has to resurrect your team members. And I feel Zenyatta is more of the he takes more of a laid back approach. He shoots his projectiles and shoots a healing orb at your teammates and shoots a projectile, the orb of discord that basically decreases, like basically nerfs their defense incredibly. So his Orb of Harmony heals people. His Orb of Discord debuffs their defense dramatically. So this is a good character to use if you're trying to help your teammate DPS a tank. The tank will go down just as quick as a person that has like mid-tier health. And then imagine if someone that has mid-tier health that has the Ball of Discord, like they're gonna go down if they were like a lower tier character that has like lower health, like a Widowmaker and Tracer, and then if he throws the Orb of Discord on those lower tier characters, just imagine how fast those characters would be taken out. And plus he has his charge up attack. He's able to charge up all his orbs, and he can shoot them all at once, or he can shoot a couple up at a time. When he does charge up, what do we call it? You can see all the orbs light up, and then once they're fully charged, you can let them go, and then you could reload your character's orbs. And then his ultimate is the Transcendence, is where he becomes totally invulnerable. He looks like a giant. Well, he doesn't look like a giant statue. He shines like a giant Buddha statue, and he heals your enemies in that field, and your allies become faster and they get healed. And this is like a big worst case scenario for the enemy team, because he could stall the team from reaching their control point if he's in the field and he's invulnerable. So he could keep that overtime timer going until his allies rally and try to take the point or the payload back. And also, if he's in a crowd of allies that are struggling, or it looks like a stalemate, he gets in there, he heals them. Your team will DPS the rest of the enemy team left, and he basically saves the day. A big con about him is that if you're trying to be chill and take a step back and heal your team, debuff the defense of your other team, characters like a Widowmaker, Anna, and a Hanzo, like they. And sometimes Echo too. She throws her sticky bombs. Like they're gonna one shot this guy, like easy. Like Anna will maybe be 1 to 2 shots, 3 shots if you kind of dodge, and she gets lucky on the third shot if you don't recover. But but just like Symmetra, and who else we got here? Symmetra and oh yeah, Saria. They have they have their body armor life points where, like, yeah, if your regular hit points deplete over time, they get a substitute life bar added to their health that it'll keep them alive a little bit longer. Same thing with Sigma. Sigma has the same concept, but the downside is the more of their health they lose, the faster. If they get DPS, that shield energy they have can be depleted a lot quicker, and then whatever amount of health they have left will be depleted, and like they're goners. A pro is if he's able to rally with his team and you're overwhelming the enemy, he could go in and overwhelm you guys just as much. He'll just be behind a team and use his charge up attacks while he's buffing and debuffing you. He could, if he gets to jump on you with his orbs of discord and throws orbs at you, you're done. And even if it's something as simple as him backing up one character, healing them and debuffing you, it's still a 2 versus 1 disadvantage. Even if you end up killing him and you got debuffed and you're taking you had their if you were taken out, your partner will most likely take you out because you already sustained enough damage to be taken out of the equation. So Zenyatta is I would say he's probably the most underrated playmaker in the game.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Like, if you want to talk about like the most underrated player of the game, it's definitely him. I think definitely one of the most underrated, important people in the game. Definitely Baptiste. Especially with the learning curve. But yeah, man. Those are all the characters. And well, what else we got here? So, I mean, honestly, you have you can practice versus the AI. Obviously, you have the practice range. You got the training mode where you can learn about the basics of Overwatch. They have this all in the game, and another thing I like about the game is they also got regular quick play. They got arcade mode where they have different activities that rotate every day. So today they have elimination, 8-player free for all, 6 versus 6 mystery heroes. They're always going to have quick play classic. And since we have the anniversary mode, anniversary event going on, we got Winter Brawl. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's so much going on with Overwatch, and I know there haven't been as much content in this game because of what was it? Overwatch 2 is on the way, but it's still never too late to get in the game and see at least what the game is all about before you basically pass the right judgment to see if you want to invest in Overwatch 2. Because sometimes a lot of people will do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Swift, Jeff, that people will jump into a sequel without playing the first game. And they were like, I never played the first game. It's like, oh, wow, you never played the first game? And they're either going to be really similar or they're going to be different so many ways. Like even if like we both play Destiny, Destiny 1 and 2 are really completely different games, especially with like all the expansions and supers. So yeah, so you got any more left to say?
Man, if I had known it was gonna go like this, could have done a two-part series. Bring your son as a special guest. He's the Overwatch expert. You got, oh man, maybe could, I don't know, try to mention a few things somewhere along the lines of the release of Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this was just jam-packed.
Well, yeah, especially with updates too. Another thing the game also likes to do is they like to uh, do patch notes. So they'll tell you the patch notes in the front of the menu of the game. Um, if something needs to be reworked or redone. So that's another thing I appreciate about this game too. But yeah, we got nothing left to say. If you like this video, it's been a good talk. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And this has been another great episode of Game Talk. This is Stop Capping. This is Swift Climax, and we out of here.
Peace.
Peace.